Hi everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on shortage and surplus. So this is a topic that many students may find tricky at first, but once you understand the method, it actually becomes very manageable. Okay, so firstly, my name is Jeanette, and I'm a teacher from Matrix Math. So I specialize in helping upper primary students improve their problem-solving skills, especially for this type of multi-step word problems. Okay, so today I'll be guiding you through a simple way to break down these questions for this concept so you don't feel so stuck whenever you come across these concepts. Okay, let's look at, okay, just let me briefly go through, right? Who is this for? Like, what is this webinar about? And I'm sure you are here for a reason, right? To understand more about this concept. So this session is specially designed for P4, P5 students who may find like shortage and surplus questions confusing, or if you are not sure what method to use, or sometimes you may get the correct idea, okay, but then you make mistakes halfway, okay, somewhere something went wrong, okay. So if that sounds like what you encounter, right, so this is what the webinar is for. And for parents who are joining us, I'll be showing you the exact thinking process that we teach students here so you can better support them at home. Okay, so what will you be expecting to learn today? So first, right, you learn how to identify the different types of shortage and surplus questions. Okay, because many students, they struggle because they are not able to recognize the question type. Okay, not because they don't know how to do this type, but they are not even able to recognize it. Okay, then secondly, after you recognize this type of shortage and surplus question type, right, how do you apply the correct method to solve each type step by step? So instead of like guessing or using random approaches, so we will show like how you can tackle each type of shortage and surplus questions. Okay, and then lastly, you learn how to confidently solve exam style questions. Okay, the kind that's like commonly tested in school exams, school tests. Okay, so as we go along, I'll also be asking you some questions along the way. So you try to stay engaged and try your best to participate. It could be within the chat or the polls. Okay? So when I say, okay, get ready to poll, then you will see the poll pop up, and then you just participate in that, okay? Now, okay, before I go through the concept, explaining about the concept, right, let me just do a short um, sharing about how we help students master these types of questions at Matrix Math. Okay, so 4 broad ideas. Our classes are conducted in small groups, so every student gets enough attention and guidance. And secondly, most importantly, we are in line with MOE syllabus. Okay, we don't teach like extra or out of syllabus stuff. Everything we follow is like within whatever the school is teaching, whatever MOE requires. Then we also focus a lot on reasoning and problem solving skills, which is exactly what you need for topics like this. And lastly, we have a structured program. Okay, what do I mean by a structured program? So students will learn how to look at questions, break it down by types, apply the correct method step by step instead of just memorizing blindly. So, and also if you go to any of our Matrix Math branches, right, you actually realize that every week all the lessons are the same across. So we have a very structured program across all our centers lah. Okay. All right. So yes, if you find today's session helpful, this is exactly the kind of training we provide in our regular classes. Okay, now let's dive into what we're covering today. So firstly, you have shortage and surplus questions, right? And these questions are actually can be broken down into 2 broad categories. One is when it involves groups, and then the other is when there are no groups. Okay, let's look at the first broad type first, okay, with groups. When I say with groups, right, we talk about 2 different types. One is there's no fixed number of groups, and then the other one is when you have a fixed number of groups. Later on at the end, then I'll talk more about the one with no groups. Okay, for now we focus on those with groups. Okay, hold on. Yes, okay. Okay, I'll show you an example of what do I mean by shortage and surplus questions that has no fixed number of groups, as well as an example of a question that have fixed number of groups. Okay, first one is John had some marbles. When he put them into groups of 5, there were 2 marbles left. When grouped into groups of 7, there were 5 marbles left. So why is it that this one is no fixed number of groups? Because in this example, right, John has some marbles. He just puts them into groups. Okay, it can be like groups of 5, groups of 7. But there is no specific number of groups that he must get. Okay, it's not like he has a fixed number of groups that he need to split into. No, what's fixed is the number within each group. As compared to this example, Yenny has some jars and wants to distribute the cookies equally. If she puts 11 in each jar, she'll have 5 left. If she puts 12 in each jar, she'll be short of 4. Now, it sounds quite similar to the question before, right? So what is the difference? In the first one, John is putting them into groups. In the second one, Yenny is also kind of putting them into groups, right? But these groups we're referring to is the number of jars. The jars, okay? Every group is 1 jar. And then in this question, they actually said Yenny has some jars. So there's actually a fixed number of jars that she is supposed to fill. This one, she doesn't he doesn't have a fixed number of groups to put them into. Okay, now if at any point during this presentation, right, if you have any questions, you can use the chat and ask me, or you can unmute yourself and ask questions. Okay, if you need me to repeat or clarify anything, just let me know. Okay, now before we go into the questions that you have in your worksheets, I'll be using the poll function. Now, what I need you all to do is look at question 1 here on the screen, not in your worksheet, on the screen. And then, based on what I explained, choose if there is a fixed number of groups or no fixed number of groups. Okay, hold on. Let me look for the poll. Okay, do you all see it on the screen? Have? Okay, you just answer, click.
I
No
don't see it.
Don't see it. The poll, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, do I? If you don't see it, you just key into the chat to me. Okay, so based on what you read, right, in question 1, figure out if this question is talking about fixed number of groups or no fixed number of groups. This is a grouping question for sure because she's placing flowers in vases, right? But is it a fixed number or not?
Oh, is it
Okay, any more responses?
is no.
Okay, you know what? There's half of you who said no fixed groups, and then the other half said there are fixed groups. Okay, so which is it? Seems like it's a half, 50-50 for this. Okay, florist wants to pack the flowers into some vases. So the number of vases is the number of groups. The number of vases is actually fixed for this question. Okay, because there are some vases. We have fixed number of groups. So the answer is fixed number. Okay, this one is fixed number of groups. Later on, I'll explain what's the difference between fixed number and not when there isn't any fixed number of groups, okay, in terms of solving the question. First, now we just focus on identifying first whether it's fixed or not. Okay, then the second one, how about the second one? Let's try again. A teacher has some stickers. When she tries to pack them into packs of 9, 4 are left. If she wants to pack them into packs of 6, 1's left. How many stickers does she have? So the groups will be the packs. Like how many packs she wants to pack them into, how many groups she wants to pack them into. Okay, is that fixed or not fixed based on this question? Does it sound like it's fixed or not? Hold on, let me launch the other poll. Okay, now for question 2, do you think that this question is about fixed number of groups or no fixed groups? Any more? No more? If you're not sure, never mind. Just choose one option. Okay, awesome. So far, all those who answered, right? All those who answered, 100%, all of you said that there's no fixed groups. Okay, very good. So yes, not, you see it, right? Okay. Now, not this question, we do not have any fixed groups. Yeah, because the teacher, she just packs them into packs of either like 9 or 6, right? So there's just packs. She doesn't need to pack into a certain number of packs. Now, it's different if the question said something like, a teacher has some packets to put stickers in. Okay, then that one is fixed groups. When she got packets, then the number of packets is fixed. But this one, she's just packing them. Okay, how about last one? Read this question and figure out, is it fixed number of groups or not? Okay, good. Those who haven't responded can just click. So a baker has some trays to place some cupcakes on. Okay, I'll end the poll. Very good. All of you said the correct answer, which is the groups are fixed. Okay, nice. Yes, the groups are fixed. How do we know that the groups are fixed? Because it says that the baker has some trays. Okay, so the group is talking about the number of trays, and he has some trays means there is a fixed number of groups that he needs to put the cupcakes on into. Okay, so okay, now you'll roughly get the idea what is considered fixed groups or not, right? Okay, let's look at concept 1. Okay, now you have your worksheet, right? I'll go through this question and you can write down as we go along. Okay, the number of students in John's class is between 30 and 60. He wants to put them into groups. If he puts them into groups of 5, 3 will be without a group. If he puts them into groups of 8, 5 would be without a group. So how many pupils were there? So in this question, we don't have fixed number of groups because John is just grouping them into groups. Okay, we don't have any fixed number of groups that he wants to put them into. Okay, so this question will use the listing method. Okay, we list. Now, if you put them into groups of 5, right, it will be 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. So we're looking for multiples. Multiples, multiples of 5. But do we start with 5? Now we're looking at a number that is between 30 and 60, right? So you don't start with 5. Otherwise, 5, 10, 15 is definitely not the answer. Those numbers are too small. Okay, so between 30 and 60 means we are looking from 31 to 59. And if you put them into groups of 5, 3 will be without a group. So means you have a remainder of 3. Okay, you group, then you have 3 people without a group. So over here, we put plus 3. Because the 3 extra is considered a surplus. If it's a surplus, we add. It's an excess or surplus. Okay, you have extra, you put plus. Okay, let's start with 30. I know 30 is not included. It's not exactly between 30 and 60. Between means it will be 31 to 59, right? But why do we include 30? Because if you add the extra 3 students, yeah, if you add the extra 3 students, right, the total will be 33, which is within this range. Okay, so don't leave 30 out. Now let's list down multiples of 5. Now you can list down all the way to 60, and we know here will be 63, right? It's not going to be within the range, but it's okay. Later we just cross out the answer. You just want to make sure that you have that you'll capture all the numbers within this range. Okay, so when I say plus 3, I mean like the multiple of 5 plus 3. Multiple of 5 plus 3. Multiples of 5 plus 3. Okay, you keep adding 3 to your multiples. Okay, maybe you want to write this down first. So let me just recap as you're writing it down. We're writing multiples of 5 because we're grouping them into groups of 5. So you're going to put like starting from 30, and then you have 35, 40, 45, and so on. 8 groups of 5. Then you add 3 because we know there will always be 3 without a group if you are putting them into groups of 5. So you have to add 3 to that number. So these are possible answers for the number of pupils. Now, in the second scenario, if he wants to put them into groups of 8, he would have 5 without a group. So your surplus or your excess would be 5. So you put plus 5. So this is what I said earlier, 63 is not within the range, so you just cross out 63. It's not a possible answer. Okay, now we group them into groups of 6. You're starting with multiples of 6. What number should we start with? Anyone can tell me what number we should start with?
32.
Okay, thank you. So multiple of 8 will start with 32. That's the first number after that is within this range. Okay, then after 32, 40, 48, 56, then you stop here. The next number would be out of range already. You want to include the next number also can. Then after that, later you just cross out because it's out of range. So it's okay to put more numbers. You just need to know which one you can consider, which one you cannot. Okay? Okay, then you have extra 5 pupils, so you need to add 5 to the multiples. So 40 plus 5, 48 plus 5, 56 plus 5. Now, can you all key into the chat what the answer is? What do you think the answer is for question 1? Alisa, yes. Andrew, yes, correct. Adia, yes, correct. Amanda, correct. Reyes, no, Reyes wrong. Aisha, correct. Okay, now, see, what am I supposed to match? Is it do we just match any number that is the same? No, we will only match the number that is in the second row. Okay, because the second row is after adding the extra students, right? So that is actually the possible answer for the number of pupils in the class. Okay, you do not take the one without the extra. You do not take the multiple of 5 or multiple of 8. So the one you're supposed to match is after adding 3, after adding 5. So answer is 53. Okay, 53. Yes, no, no, no. You don't match the bottom and the top. It must be the bottom and the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Always the bottom and the bottom. Okay, once you have gotten this down, I'm going to move on to the next question. Anyone not done, please let me know, okay? Otherwise, let's look at question 2. Adam, okay, great. Now, question 2. Peter had some pencils. When Peter tried to pack the pencils into packs of 6, he had a remainder of 5. When he tried to pack them into packs of 5, he found that he had a remainder of 2. So what's the least number of pencils he could have? So this one, no fixed groups, because he's just packing the pencils into packs, okay? There's no there's no fixed number of bags that he need to pack. Okay, with packs of 6 means you have 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and so on. So it's a multiple of 6. With a remainder of 5 means there will be an extra 5, so plus 5. So this one, no range given, you start with the smallest number, which is 6. So 6, 12, 18, 20. Sorry, 8, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Now, if you have a question like that, right, during exam, then you ask, how long must I go? You do about like 5 or 6 numbers, and then you do your the bottom row, and you check if there's any match with your second set. If you don't have, then you continue listing. Okay, don't list until like you have like 20 numbers on top. Okay, don't waste time doing that. List about 5 or 6 numbers first, and then you check. Nothing that's matching, then you list a few more. Okay, 6 plus 5, 12 plus 5, 18 plus 5, 24 plus 5, 30 plus 5. This is your first scenario, if he wants to pack them into packs of 6. Now your second scenario, if he wants to pack them into packs of 5. So this time is times 5. Remainder of 2, so plus 2. Okay, write this down. do your multiples of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, you want to do 25 also can. Then plus 2. Okay, so 5 plus 2, 10 plus 2, 15 plus 2, 22 plus 2. Could you all fill up the bottom numbers? Fill up this one. Like if you plus 2, what numbers will you get? So you have 7, 12, 17, 22. So, sorry. I just saw your answers chat. Oh no, hold on. Accidentally click something. Okay, Aisha, yes, correct. Rias, yes, correct. Adia, yes, correct. Alyssa, correct. Adria, correct. Okay, so answer 17. You just need to match the bottom one. Okay, answer not 12 because you're not matching the bottom and the top. Both at the bottom. Okay, 17 pencils. Now, let's look at concept 2. Concept 2 is where you have fixed number of groups. Why is question 3 a fixed number of groups type of question? Okay, teacher Amber has some marbles in a bag to distribute to a class of pupils. The number of marbles is fewer than 50. If she gives 8 marbles to each pupil, she will have 1 left. If she gives 9 to each pupil, she will need 4 more. How many marbles are there in the bag? Okay, now, so we know, right, this is concept 2, which is a fixed number of groups. So what I want to ask is concept 2. This is the question I want to ask. So what is the fixed number of groups? What is fixed? When you all read this question, right, what is fixed? Sorry, I mean, when I say what is fixed, I mean the fixed number of groups. What is the group referring to? What's the group referring to? Okay, the question not very clear, so I say, what is the group referring to? Okay, now I see it's between 2 answers, either number of marbles or number of pupils. What is fixed? Okay. Now, most of you said number of marbles. Some of you said number of pupils. The number of marbles, yes, it's fixed, but my question was, this concept is on fixed number of groups, right? So what is that fixed number of groups? Like, what is the groups referring to? So the groups, oh, okay, page later after this one, then I go back again, okay? I explain this one first. So the number of groups, right, is referring to, okay, are we putting them into bags? Are we putting them into packets? Or are we distributing them to pupils? We're distributing them to pupils, right? So when I have, okay, let me just annotate this. When I have groups, right, I'm talking about groups, right? Then I distribute marbles. How many? 8. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I put 8 in one group, right? Example. So what is this one group referring to? This one group is referring to one pupil because every pupil will receive 8. Okay, so actually what is this fixed number of groups for this question? This would be the number of pupils. Okay, number of pupils. All right, okay. So what's the difference between the solutions for this concept and the previous concept? So since we have fixed number of groups, fixed number of pupils, right? You have to indicate this in your solutions, in your working, okay? Number of pupils. The first scenario is 8 to each, and then 1 left. This is similar to what we did. And the range is fewer than 50. Okay, so you must start off with 1 pupil. 1 pupil is 1 times 8, because it's 8 to each, right? So 1 times 8. If it's 2 pupils, it's 2 times 8, which is 16. If it's 3 pupils, it'll be 3 times 8, 24. Okay, you keep doing this until you have a few numbers. So the difference between concept 1 and concept 2 is this part here. This one is important. Okay, this one's important. The number of groups matters. So you have to state how many groups are there or how many pupils are there. So if you have 8 marbles, you have 1 left, right? So you need to add 1. You have 16 marbles, you have 1 left. 24 marbles, 1 left. 32 plus 1. 40 plus 1. 48 plus 1. Make sure it's in line with the number of pupils, okay? You cannot have 4 here and then your 32 is like somewhere here. No, put it above. Make it in line. Now, in the second scenario, if she gives 9 to each pupil, she'll need 4 more. So that's times 9. Okay, multiples of 9. Now, what does it mean by she needs 4 more? Does it sound like a surplus or does it sound like a shortage? Shortage? Yes, shortage. Because she needs, right? So she's short. She's short of how many? She's short of 4. So instead of a plus, this will be a minus. Okay, instead of a plus, it's a minus because it's a shortage. So you have to put it in line again. If there's 1 pupil, this will be 1 times 9. Then if it's a shortage, you minus 4. Okay, so you list down your multiples of 9 first. Multiples of 9. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. Okay, then minus 9. So every number you will minus, sorry, not minus 9, minus 4. Every number you minus 4. Okay, what do you think the answer is? Are you all keen in chat?
41.
Are you okay? Okay, thank you. Since Reyes has said the answer, okay, answer will be 41. Yeah. So take note, right? For this concept, the answers, not only do the answers have to match, Amanda, Adam, yes, correct. I mean, the answers are, oops, sorry. Answer will be 41 on the screen. Adia and Aisha, yes. Okay, so 41 is the number of marbles in the bag. Not only do you have to match the numbers in the second row, you must also make sure that they fall within the same column. Means the number of pupils must be the same. So if let's say I have a question which say I have a times 7 plus 4 or something like that, right? And then times something minus something. And then if let's say this is 17, then the answer here is 17, right? You cannot, this will not be the answer because it is not within the same column. Okay, so this one cannot be the answer because it's not within the same column. So for this concept, you must make sure that they fall within the same column because the number of groups is fixed. Because in the first scenario, if you have 5 pupils, then in the second scenario, you must also have 5 pupils. Okay? So, how many marbles are there in the bag? This is the answer. Now, what if the question asks, how many pupils are there? What would the answer be then? Any idea? If the question asks, how many pupils are there? What do you think is the answer? It's not 41, right? Because 41 is the marbles. How many pupils? Anyone?
5?
Yes, it will be 5. Then you'll follow this number instead. Okay? Okay, let's look at the next question. Okay, sorry, before that, page here, question 2 can finish up whatever you didn't write. All right. Question 4. Yenny had some stamps. She distributed the stamps equally among some friends. If she gave each friend 4 stamps, she would have a remainder of 3. If she gave each friend 5 stamps, she would be short of 5. How many friends did she give the stamps to? Okay. Why is this fixed number of groups? What is the groups that we're referring to? So if this is one group, she gave each friend 4 stamps, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. What is this one group referring to? This would be each friend. So this is one friend. Okay? Not one bag, not one pack, not one class, but one friend. Okay. So the number of friends is fixed. How do we know? Because the question said some friends. Like the friends have to be fixed number lah, okay? Okay, so first scenario. So remember, if your groups, the number of groups is fixed, you need to state this number of groups, which is number of friends in this question. So one must start with 1. 1. Remainder of 3, that's why we plus 3. For one friend, it's 1 times 4, which is 4. 2 friends, you have 2 times 4, which is 8. And so on. Give a few numbers. And plus 3, because there's a remainder of 3. So every number you add 3. Okay, this is the first scenario. What about the second scenario? In the second scenario, if she gave each friend 5, so it will be a times 5, short of 5, so plus 5, times 5, plus 5. Minus 5, because it's a short of 5, which means it's a shortage, not extra. So shortage will be minus. And fill up these 2 rows. Now, I'll let you all fill up these two rows, and then if you have gotten your answer, you just key in the chat, okay? Okay, let me just do the first six first. I want to explain something. Oh, okay, wait, someone got the answer. Reyes, does the 15 fall in the same column?
No, I don't think so.
It's not, so that one cannot be the answer because the number of groups must be fixed. Okay, so okay, I hope you all managed to get this at least. Now, if you see, right, 15 and 15 can 15, can this be the answer? No, this is not the answer because the number of friends, right? In the first 15 is like 3 friends. In the second 15 is like 4 friends. So is it 3 or is it 4 friends? So the number of friends must be fixed. So must be same number in the same column. So if you do not have any answer in the same column yet, then that's when we need to continue listing until we get the same number. Amanda, 20, are you matching the... Oh, okay. Is it because you match this and this same column? Okay, you cannot, this one and this one cannot, because, right, you have to take the lower one. You must consider this extra 3. So the actual number of stems will be the lower one and the lower row. Okay, not this 20. Okay, so no, not 20. Adam, no, not 15. So as I was saying, 15 is not the answer because it's not within the same column. Must be same column. You see this one 3, right? This one 4. So cannot. Okay. You continue listing, not done yet. We don't have the answer yet. So let's continue listing. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, y'all continue listing until 10. And then you'll see the answer. Adria, yes, correct. Awesome. Okay, plus 3, if you add 3, this is 31, 35, 39, and 43. Reyes, that answer that you gave, right? Is that the number of friends?
Oh no, I
Aisha,
accidentally typed in the wrong answer.
you key in again. Aisha, so is that the number of friends? If you continue listing, yes, you will see that. Reyes, yes, correct now. Okay, you'll see that your matching number is 35, right? But 35 is not the answer. Why? Why? Aisha, yes, correct. Andrew, no. 15, 15 again. No, so as I was saying, 15 cannot be the answer. Cannot. Because 15 is here in this column 3. Then this 15 cannot because it's in a different column. Must be in the same column because the number of friends is the same number. Alisa, yes, correct. Okay, you understand why not 15? Okay, keep it in 15. Not 15, must be in the same column. Adia, 35, right, is not the number of friends. It's yes, correct now. So 35, right, is actually the number of stems. Okay, 35 is the stems. If you read the question, Amanda, 35 is the number of stems. They're asking how many friends did she give? So the friends will be this one. Okay, so when you match, it's in that column, right? The friends will be this one. So answer is 8, not 35. So read the question. What are they asking for? Asking for friends. So you write down the answer for friends. Okay. Anyone still writing before I move on to the last concept? Okay, let's look at next question. Okay, the last concept, we talk about no groups. What is an example of no groups? Peter wanted to buy Peter wanted to buy 15 notebooks, but he was $4 short. He decided to buy 12 notebooks and was left with $5. How much money did Peter have at first? This is also a shortage and surplus kind of question, but it is not the grouping way. It is not the listing way. Why do you think we don't use the listing way or the grouping way? Here.
The numbers are too big.
Oh. Yeah. In a poll. I mean, you answer in a poll. So the question is, why do we not use grouping or the listing way? No more? Any more? Some of you haven't responded yet. Okay, 50. Half of you said because the numbers are too big and, oh, okay, suddenly more than half. Oh, okay, slightly more than half of you said that there are no equal groups. Then the rest of you said the numbers are too big. Okay. No, it's not because the numbers are too big, but more because there are no equal groups. Okay, there are no equal groups in this question. That's why we don't use grouping. Okay, so what do I mean by that? When I say 15 notebooks, right? Am I packing them into groups of 15? No, right? It's not groups of 15. He just wanted to buy 15. That's all. There's only like 115. Okay, it's not 15, 30, 45, and so on. It's not multiples of 15. There are no groups here. So with that, we don't use the listing method, we use the model method instead. Okay, so what does it look like? Now, question 5. Yenny had some money. She wanted to buy 24 files, but was short of $3. In the end, she bought 21 files and had $6 left. How much did Yenny have at first? So how do we show the model? Okay, firstly, there are two different scenarios, right? And in both scenarios, she had the same amount of money. Okay, which is this much. So the first one, the top one is first scenario. Second one is the second scenario. You start off with equal amount. That's why equal 2 bars of equal length. In the first scenario, she wanted to buy 24 files, but was short of $3. Now, this $3, right, is it within the money that she had, or is it the extra that she needed? She's short of $3, so this $3 is not part of the original, right? So you have to add on $3 with dotted lines. Okay, add it on with dotted lines. Dotted lines represent, means that it is not part of the original. So with her money plus this $3, she can actually buy 24 files. That's how much it costs, okay? Her money plus $3. Okay, sorry, just to answer, Aja, just now you said that number is too big, right? And then no space for listing. So, yes, it's true. If the numbers are too big, you can use the model method. But for this particular questions where there's totally no grouping at all, then we use model method. Okay, if the numbers are too big, but it's still groups, you can choose within the two methods. Okay, so in the second scenario, if she wants to buy 21 files, she bought 21 files and had $6 left. Now the question is that $6, right? Is it part of the original money that she has? It is, right? Because it's part of, is what she's left with. It's not what she needs, but it's what she's left with. So you cut out from what she has. Okay, cut out $6. This is what she's left with. Part of her original money. So where is 21 files? 21 files is over here. This part of her money. So if you can do this question and draw this model, actually very good already, okay? Because once this model is drawn, labeled properly, how many files can we find? You can find this part here, the difference. Okay, so you're looking at a difference of 24 files and 21 files, which is a difference of 3 files. How much is that? By looking at the model, from here all the way to here is 6 plus 3. So 3 files cost $9. Which means that 1 file costs 9 divided by 3. Okay, so the question is, how much money did Yenny have at first? Now, remember, we actually started off, what we started off with is this one and this one, right? So you can find either one. This is scenario 1, scenario 2. It doesn't matter which one you choose. We just need to find this much. Okay, you can choose to use scenario 1, sure. You can use scenario 2 also can. Okay, so I will choose scenario 2 since it's lesser number of files, 21 files. Then I just add $6 after that. Okay, so we find 21 files. 21 times 3. And then you add $6. So 63 plus 6. Answer $69. If you were to use scenario 1, right, you would be finding 24 files first. Then you minus $3. Okay, any questions? You're all done writing? Okay. All right, let's go on. Next question. Hey, this is the last question. Peter has a piece of rope. If he wants to cut it into 20 equal pieces, he'll have 49 cm left. If he wants to cut it into 28 equal pieces, he will need 23 cm more. How long is Peter's piece of rope? Okay, so he started with he had a certain amount of rope, right? Okay, there are 2 different scenarios, so you draw 2 models. So again, this is 20 equal pieces, not like groups of 20. There's just 20. So there's no groups involved. We use model method. Okay, this represents the total length that he had at first. In the first scenario, if he wants to cut it into 20 equal pieces, he will have 29 cm left. So this 29 cm, do I add on or do I cut out? So the question to us is 49 part of his original length, or is it not part of the original? Is it an extra? 49 is the amount left, right? So it is part of the original. So you must cut out from the original. Okay, cut out from the original. So this portion here represents what he used for the 20 pieces. So 20 pieces left with 49 cm. In the second scenario, if he wants 28 pieces, he will need 23 cm more. 23 cm add on or cut out. So it depends on whether the 23 cm is part of his original or not. Okay, so 23 cm is what he needs, the extra that he needs. So you don't cut out, but you add on. Okay, it's not part of the original. So the amount that he needs, right, for the 28 pieces includes this extra 23 cm. So when you label it, you have to include the 23 cm. Okay, so it's important you label it below but not inside the box because 28 pieces have to include the 23 cm. So like I said, for this concept, if you can draw this model accurately, label everything clearly, you should be able to see how many pieces you can find, which is this part here. So how many pieces is this? So we're looking at a difference of 28 pieces and 20 pieces. So we have 8 pieces here. Okay, 8 pieces, how many cm is that? So it's 49 plus 23. Which is 72. Then we find one piece. So we take 72 divide by 8. Which is 9 cm. How long is his piece of rope? Okay, so his piece of rope is, you can either use the 20 pieces or 28 pieces. Here I'm going to use the shorter one, the easier to find one, the first scenario. So we find 20 pieces, then we add 49 cm, and that will be the answer. Alternatively, you can find 28 pieces, then you minus 23. So first scenario, 20 pieces. So 9 times 20. And then you add 49. So this will give us 200,
改变
229 cm. Okay. Nice. All done? Anyone not done yet? All done? Okay, if you have no other questions, that's actually the end of today's session. Thank you for joining, and I hope you have a clearer idea of how to tackle this type of questions now. Okay, so if you found today's lesson useful or helpful and you want more structured practice like this, we cover them during our regular classes at Matrix Math. We focus a lot on helping students recognize the question types as well as how to solve those types of questions. Okay, if you're interested, you can contact us. This will be all our contact details. You can take picture, screenshot, or anything. I think it's also on our website. Then before you go, just hope you all can help to take a minute and scan this QR here for feedback form. It will help us to improve our future webinars. Okay, can scan the QR. They help us to fill up the form. Okay, with that, that's all for today. Bye.